All right, guys. So I am going to give you a crash course in Canvas. And this is really for people who are um, inching to Tuesday and still feel like totally clueless. I am going to basically show you like the bare kind of minimum of what you need to get your class up and running. Okay. So I'm going to go into Canvas. All right. And for the sake of this, I'm actually going to create just a blank course. You will not need to do that because you'll be working in your existing courses. Okay, so you have your blank course. Step one is that you need to make a home page. So you're going to go to Pages and you are going to create a page. Retitle it something like that. You want to put welcome to, and I'm going to put English 12 with Mrs. Hearn. Okay, and you'll want to link to maybe some of the important stuff. Let's see, syllabus, Zoom meeting, current module. You could come up with some other things there depending on what you do. Like if you have an online textbook that's not in ClassLink, maybe that goes here. So just any of the essentials that you're going to be using like all the time. This is a full text editor, so you can make those colors, whatever. Okay. And then you're going to link to these things. So my syllabus is in Google Drive. So here, I'm going to get the share link. Copy. Okay, so, and then to link that, I'm going to paste it and there. All right, for your Zoom meeting, it's recommended that you do. So I'm actually going to save this for now so we can create our Zoom meeting. So I'm going to go into settings and you need to go to the navigation tab and you'll notice that Zoom is down here disabled. You need to drag it up to the top group and hit save. And that's going to enable Zoom within your Canvas course. So now it shows up over here on the left and I'm going to click it. Okay, it's going to open up Zoom in a new window and I'm going to schedule a meeting when it's going to start November 8th. I think you guys start at 8 or 8:30. I can't remember, but we'll go with that. And so I am going to create a meeting that lasts the entire school day. And I'm doing this so that I have one Zoom link. And what you do is you'll be able to let like first block into this one meeting session and then kick them out. And then second block comes in and then you kick them out. And you will need your rosters and make sure that you're letting in just that box group of kids. And you can make it very clear in your syllabus or wherever that kids will not be let in unless they use, their appropriate given name. Time zone. Okay, so reoccurring meeting, because I'm just going to use one meeting for all 4 blocks. I'm going to do daily, repeat every day. The end date, it is only going to let you go for, there you go, for about a month and a half. So come October 26th, I am going to have to make a new meeting. We are not going to require registration because the students are not logging in. You can do a password. The waiting room is a little room where you kind of have to accept them in. So if you do that, you should probably not need a passcode, but you can do both. It's up to you. I want my video on. I want the kids' video on. That you can leave as is. I do not want them to join before me, so I'm going to leave that unchecked. I do want them to be muted when they join, so I'm going to check that. And we're going to leave that unchecked. And then this one, I'm famous for forgetting to start the meeting. So I'm actually going to hit that so I don't have to remember. On the cloud is where you can, when you're done with your meeting, you'll get like a file download of the video and audio. And then in the cloud is where it saves it to like what is basically Zoom's own little version of Google Drive, and the kids can access it that way. The disadvantage to that is that your kids, because they're all joined in a single course, are going to be able to like access all of the meetings for every block. If you do it on the local computer, you can actually make folders like in your Google Drive by block and upload them into their correct block and share that folder just with that block's kids, and it's a little more secure. So you can see I've done that here. Okay, and you can share that out just to those kids and just tell them to bookmark it. Okay, so created Zoom meeting. If you have a co-teacher, you can always put them there. Hit save, and now I have my URL. So I'm going to right click on this and hit copy link address, and I'm going to go back to that page now that we started working on for our home page. Okay, I'm going to edit it, and now I can highlight this and link my Zoom meeting. There we go. Okay, and then current module, we'll come back to that one because right now we don't have any modules. So I'm going to hit save. Now, to make a page become your home page so that when students click home, it goes there, you're going to click on we have to publish it first. And then you're going to click on the 3 dots and hit use as front page. Now I'm going to hit the home button, choose home page, and I'm going to change it to pages front page. Okay, so now that page that you just made is your home page. Okay, so another thing, probably the most important thing, is building modules. So I'm just going to do this based off my English 12. Our very first unit was Beowulf. Okay, I would not use this, and I would just hit this plus sign. So the first thing that I always did with my kids was a Google slide on the background. So basically you can add all these different things. You can add an assignment, a quiz, a file, which is going to be for like maybe like Word documents and PDFs. I apologize. There's a very loud truck going by. A page, which is basically what you just made, which is kind of just a text editing thing. Discussion board. A text header is basically a subfolder. So, for example, the very first thing that we do is background. Okay. External URL is like a website or a YouTube video, like things like that. An external tool is where we're going to get our Google stuff. So if you want to attach a Google slide, this is just for them to view. This is not an assignment. Okay, so Beowulf Ground, I believe is what it's called. Nope. Okay, there it is. Took me a while, but I got it. Okay, so submit, add item. All right, and now that slide is there. So maybe I want them to do notes, so I can do an assignment. I'm going to hit new assignment because I haven't created it yet. Beowulf background notes. Add item. Okay, when you make an assignment, you want to click on it and you're going to hit edit, and that's where you're going to add things in. All right, so this is the instructions box. This is also where you can link to like a PDF file. You can put images, you can put other things maybe that you want them to preview before they begin the assignment here. Okay, so we'll put okay. So this is where you can put like your 100, you can change it to percent. Maybe it's notes and you basically want to make sure they do it, but you don't want, it's not actually a graded thing. Then I can just put complete or incomplete, but then say don't count it as a grade. And it's 0 points. And that's just for me to keep track of who has done it and who has not. So I have these notes as a Google Doc. So under submission type, there are a couple of different ones. No submission is going to be like if you were to link them out to like a Google form or an Edpuzzle or a Quizlet, they're not actually going to be submitting anything into Canvas. And so you would choose no submission. Online means that they're going to either type into a text box, this one, submit a URL to you. for like a project or something that's housed online. A media recording is where they're going to upload either a webcam video or an audio recording. And then file uploads is where they're going to upload a file that's stored on their computer to you. You can do attempts. Can they resubmit as many times as they need, or you can limit it. Okay. For the sake, we're not going to mess with that. Leave that unchecked. Okay, here is where you can assign things to different sections. So I don't have sections built into this little pretend course, so I can't quite show you. But when you guys, if you delete everyone and you type in like 1A, your first block class would be there, and then you would type in, you would choose it and then go back in the box and you can put 3A, and then you can do a due date. No, that's not going to work because I don't have sections, but here we go. And then you can do a due date just for them. And then you can come down here and hit add and do the 2B, 4B and give them like a different due date, for example. So that's how you assign it. And you can keep adding. So you can even split it up by the 4 sections if you want to. All right, so there's our assignment, or I guess I should probably attach the notes, right? So because they're in a Google Doc, I'm actually going to hit external tool, and that's how you attach a Google Doc so that it makes a copy for every student. So you can see I went into external tool, I clicked find, and then Google Drive, and now here I am in my drive. Let's see, Beowulf notes, there they are. Submit, select. Okay, I always recommend checking this little box here if you're doing Google Slides or Docs because it'll make it bigger on the student's screen. All right, I'm going to hit save and I'll just X out of that for now. Okay, save and publish. Okay, and this is what it's going to look like for the student. They would click this, and here you go. It even says students will receive a copy of this document that they can modify for their assignment submissions. And when they're working on it, there's going to be like a blue submit button up here on the top right that they will click to turn it in. Okay. Speed grader is how you're going to grade the things they turn in. So anytime you pull up an assignment like this, it has speed grader over here to the right. Oh, there's no students. Well, okay, just kidding. Can't show you that. But anyways, normally when you click on it, it has like their document or whatever they've submitted over here on this side. And then over here is like the little score box where you type in the grade. And up at the top, there's little arrows that you can click through the students to keep grading. Okay, so I've added an assignment to my module. Notice that this is unpublished, so don't forget to publish your modules. If you click the top one, it'll publish everything. And you can still go back and publish and unpublish just by clicking that. All right, so I've got those. So really the other thing, and you can just see like for external URL, for example, you can just paste URLs here. And you can choose to load it in a new tab, which I recommend. That way it keeps the kids in Canvas. You can add discussion board. For the file, you would have, let's see, you just upload it. Okay, so what I wanted to show you is how to do a quiz. Okay, so normally for most things, you add them this way, like you can just add it to the module. However, I've noticed that when you add a quiz this way, it defaults to the old quizzes. Canvas has old quizzes and new quizzes. New quizzes is like their updated version. So I like to go to quizzes and create a quiz this way. See how you can pick between the two. All right, so I picked new quizzes. All right, quiz name. Beowulf background quiz. 100 points. Percentage. You don't have to worry about that stuff. I only want them to do one quiz submission. And we'll just do random due date. All right, save and publish. So you've set up all the settings there. Okay, here's your quiz title. We can add instructions. Okay, if you have read aloud students, you can use something like Audacity, which your laptop already has. There it is. Which is just like a basic recording software to record the audio for the quiz or test. And then you can actually hit this upload media here and choose audio, and then you can upload the audio recording to it. So that way they have read aloud accommodation. All right, so I'm going to hit done on the instructions. To add a question to the quiz, you hit the blue plus sign. Okay, so we'll do a multiple choice. You don't have to put a question title. So this is the question stem. Let's see. All right, whichever one you put the little circle in is the answer. You really don't need to worry about any of this. You can do the points. So like if you have 100-point quiz and there's 10 questions, then obviously that would be 10. And there we go. That question's done. I'll do one more just to show you. So like we'll do true, false. We don't need a question title. Women were well respected and okay, true. We'll do our 10 points. Done. And basically you just keep hitting that blue plus sign to keep adding questions. All right, there are additional settings in the quiz. So these are really up to you. One question at a time is going to put one question on the screen at a time. Allowing backtracking means they have one question, but they can go back to the previous ones. And then this is if you want to password protect your quiz. There's a time limit. If you do set a time limit, you can increase it for specific students via like accommodations, and I'll show you that in a second. You don't want to use that. This is up to you. Allow multiple attempts, no. And then, okay, restrict student view is going to control what they can see after they submit. So do you want to show them how many points they got? You can choose to show them the questions or not show them the questions. You can even see what they put down. You can indicate that as right or wrong. And you can even show them the correct answers, which if you want to prevent cheating, I don't recommend checking that. Okay. Reports is like where you can get data. Moderate is going to be the other important one. So when you do have your quizzes here, or students, you'll be able, this is where you can assign certain kids more time. You can see their individual answers they chose, that kind of thing, and their grades. So that's all in the moderate tab. Okay, so we have made this quiz. So let me hit return and go back to my class. So there's my quiz. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my module and add it now. Okay, Beowulf background quiz. And I'm going to add it, and that quiz is now there. So that's kind of the basics. So now that we have a module, I do want to show you guys how to link that. All right, so I can highlight current module. If you're going to link to like websites and things that are outside of Canvas, you use this. But if you are going to link to things that are inside of Canvas, you use these over here. So see, now I can link that to that. You can also link to all these little things, as well as specific assignments, etc. All right. So that is done. The other thing is we're going to run through the settings real quick, and I'm going to show you guys the various settings. So I'm going to start with course details. You can choose an image. Unsplash is like a little Google image search. So, well, that probably wouldn't come up with anything. Let's try Anglo-Saxon. And these are all like royalty-free type images that you're allowed to use. Let's see. I'll go with this. Okay. PowerSchool named your courses, but you can name them if you want to be something that is easier for you to understand and for your kids to understand. One thing I don't like is it's hard to tell between semester 1 and 2 classes. So you could change that there. And then this is meant to be like a little short code. All right. You don't really need to worry about any of that stuff. Alrighty. Under more options, you really don't need to worry about anything. The one thing I would check is this one right here that says hide totals and student grade summary. And that's going to hide all of their like daily quiz test averages and their overall average. Because remember, we're sending them to PowerSchool for that. And I'm going to hit update course details. Sections is where you're going to find your kids separated by blocks, because remember in assignments you could like release assignments and set due dates by block. Okay, so those are your 4 sections will be listed there. Or if you only have like 2 sections of a course, it'll have 2. All right, navigation. So this is what students can see over here on the left. So really, they don't need to see most of this. And the less clutter, the better. We do want them to see modules. Quizzes and assignments and things like that, they can get to them through the module. So you don't also need to have them over on the left. That just creates clutter. It's best to give them one way to get to things. Those are really the ones that I would keep. Okay, that's done. You probably don't need to worry about these things. Okay, last step is we're going to go to your profile settings. So click on your picture, or if you haven't changed it, it's just a circle with your initial, I believe. And the main thing is that we need to make sure you have connected your Google Drive. If not, it's listed over here, and you will need to click it and allow it, and then it will show up over here. Okay, and that's really the main thing. Okay, that is the bare minimum of how you can get into Canvas and get started and at least have a homepage and put your stuff in for your very first module, or even if it's just your first week in the first module. Okay. Please email me if you have questions and I will get back to you pretty quickly. All right.